So you're jumping into Terraform. Awesome. It's an incredibly powerful tool, right? But with all that power, well, it can feel a little intimidating. And it pretty much always leads to this one big question. I mean, what is the right way to do it? It's a question that can feel pretty overwhelming. You look around, you see these super complex projects, and you start to wonder, am I messing this up from the very first line of code? Trust me, that's a totally normal feeling for anyone learning a powerful new tool like this. So here's the thing. Let's just reframe that goal. It's not about finding some single, perfect, mythical right way to write Terraform. It's really about building a solid foundation of simple, safe habits. Habits that are going to keep your code clean, your infrastructure stable, and honestly, your stress levels way, way down. So let's dive into the first one. Okay, habit number 1. It's all about organization. I want you to think of your project folder just like your physical desk. You wouldn't want to work in a total mess, right? Well, the exact same thing goes for your code. Look at this. On the left, you've got that cluttered desk, tons of files, confusing names, you can't find anything. But on the right, it's clean. When you're just starting out, seriously, just stick to a few core files with really obvious names, like main.tf, variables.tf, and outputs.tf. Just doing that one simple thing makes your project instantly understandable, not just for you, but for anyone else who has to look at it later. All right, let's move on to our second habit. This one is all about keeping, well, kind of a diary of your work. Because your infrastructure code, it's a living thing. It's constantly changing and evolving. And you absolutely need a way to track that evolution. And this is where a version control system, like Git, becomes your absolute best friend. By saving all your code in Git, you're basically creating a detailed history. It lets you answer those all-important questions. Who changed this? When did they change it? And why did they change it? This is just essential for tracking down problems and really understanding how your system got to where it is today. And hey, don't worry, you do not need to be a Git master to get started, I promise. Just learning the basics, how to commit your changes, and push them up to a repository gives you a huge amount of value and safety right from day one. Okay, habit number 3. This one's all about creating stability. Just imagine for a second you have a toolbox, but overnight your tools just magically change their size and shape. I mean, that would be a complete nightmare, right? Well, the same thing can happen with your software if you're not careful. And that brings us to something called version pinning. It sounds fancy, but all it means is you're explicitly telling Terraform, hey, I'm using this exact version of the tool and these exact versions of my providers, like AWS or Google Cloud. So why is this a big deal? Because a surprise update to a provider could suddenly change how a resource works, or maybe require a new setting, and bam, your whole configuration breaks without any warning. Pinning your versions puts you back in control of when those upgrades happen. All right, this next habit is, let's just say it's completely non-negotiable. We're diving into security, specifically how you handle all that sensitive info. Passwords, API keys, tokens, you name it. Okay, listen closely. I absolutely cannot stress this enough. Never, ever, ever write your secrets directly into your TF configuration files. This is what we call hard coding, and if that code ever gets shared or, worse, checked into version control, your secrets are just out there for the world to see. It is, without a doubt, one of the most common and most dangerous mistakes a beginner can make. So what do you do instead? Simple. You use the secure methods that are built for exactly this purpose. Terraform is designed to pull that sensitive data from things like input variables or from environment variables on your computer. This keeps your secrets totally separate from your code, which is exactly where they need to be. And here we are. We've made it to our final and, maybe the most important habit of all. This is your ultimate safety check. It's that critical moment of pause that can save you from making a really, really big mistake. This simple workflow right here is your key to safety. So step 1, you write your code. Pretty straightforward. Then step 2, you run Terraform plan. Now this is just a preview, it doesn't actually change anything yet. It just shows you exactly what Terraform intends to do, what it's going to create, what it will change, or what it will destroy. And that leads us to the most critical part, step 3. You have to stop and carefully review that plan. Only when you are 100% sure it looks right do you move on to step 4 and finally run Terraform apply. Seriously, think of that plan command as your safety net. It's there to catch you before you fall. Rushing past this step, that's like closing your eyes and just walking out into a busy street.
You just wouldn't do it. So please, always, always check the plan.
So let's bring this all home. What does good Terraform really look like when you're starting out? It's not about writing super complex modules or coming up with clever, tricky code. It really boils down to this. It's simple, it's easy for another human being to read, and it's written with a cautious, deliberate approach. You follow these 5 habits we talked about, you'll be writing good Terraform. It's as simple as that.
So as we wrap up here, I just want to leave you with one final question. Look, you don't have to master all 5 of these habits by tomorrow. Just pick one. What's the first simple habit that you're going to build? Which one will you focus on first to start creating a safer, more confident future for yourself with Terraform?